Hello everybody, my name's Angoff and welcome to my long-term ownership review of the Kawasaki W650. So I've had it for 6 years and we've made many modifications, so I think we'll go somewhere a bit more scenic than the town, and we'll walk around and I'll tell you what mods I've done and what I think of her. So she's a 2005 bike. I bought her with approximately 3,000 miles on the clock. I'm the second owner, and I've put on 20,000 miles in 6 years. And it's a bike that I'll never part with, so I have invested a lot of money into various mods just to make her a bit more individual and just to make her my bike. I've never named a bike before, but this one's called Ruby. It just felt right to give her a name. Let's get out of this town. Alright, just in time for the train. Win some, lose some.
$2,000 later.
Well, you don't get much more of a Cornish scene than that, do you? So we've left the town and we've come to one of my little favourite park-up spaces. So we can have a walk around and discuss the modifications I've done on this beautiful, beautiful bike. Like I said, I put about 20,000 miles on it in 6 years. It's been through 3 hard winters, and the fit and finish of it is brilliant. I mean, I did do a bit of work during lockdown, repainted the bottom of the engine and touched up the frame, but any other bike, or most other bikes, 3 winters would be the end of them. They'd be covered in rust. So when I bought her, she had a grey and purple tank, which I believe was the standard colour scheme for the 2005 model, and chrome handlebars, chrome mudguards, chrome pillion grabs, the lot. And now, before I could afford such a beautiful bike, I used to scutch around on old rat bikes, so everything was painted matte black just for protection, because I don't have a car licence, so I ride every day to work. So I decided to black this one out, but try not to go mad with it, and I think I've achieved a nice balance. So we've got a W800 special edition mudguard on the front. I bought this brand new from Kawasaki. I think it was about £120, and I fitted one of these rubber classic bike mudguard extenders because I ran it without this during the winters, and it just blasted the bottom of the engine, blasted all the paint off, took all that chrome off that oil cap, oil filter cover, so I had to buy a new one of them. So for £5, well worthwhile investment. EBC disc on the front. The brakes aren't brilliant on this, but it's not a super bike. But that disc and some decent Cinderhead pads, absolutely fine now with a braided hose. Super brace. Just look the business. And I found that sort of at high speeds, sort of 80 miles an hour, the front would get light and just, start wobbling around. Wait for this truck to go past. Thank you. And the Super Race didn't really do anything. And but I fitted this steering damper, which solved the problem. I mean, I'm only 10 stone wet, so all you heavier guys, you probably don't have such a problem, but it was quite disconcerting to be at high speed and have the front just feeling vague. So with the steering damper and the super brace, that's pretty much sorted that. Black headlight bowl, because it comes with a chrome one. That was off a W800 special edition as well. Managed to pick that up on eBay, brand new, unused, for 40 quid. I think they're about 140 quid if I bought them from Kawasaki. So that was a nice little pickup. So recent additions is the suspension. Before I had Bitubo shocks and Bitubo progressive front springs, and while it did improve over the stock suspension, it still wasn't, what I wanted. So because I'll keep this bike forever, I decided to upgrade the suspension, and these are Andrini fork cartridges, fully adjustable, and they and the shocks have absolutely transformed the handling. They're not a plug and play. You can't just buy them and drop them into your forks. You have to have the bottom of the stanchions machined off, which, if you know someone with a big industrial lathe, that's not a problem. And I expect a local engineering firm would probably charge you £50 to £100 to do that work. Luckily, I know an engineer, and he's very good with an angle grinder, and that's exactly how he did it. And he made it look easy, but yeah, probably worth paying the £150 that a shop would charge you to have them fitted if you're not confident enough. The exhaust is a Motad, stainless steel, sounds wonderful and just looks like the stock. No baffles in it, and I haven't had to do any rejetting on the carbs. Just put it on, took the baffles out, and been grinning ever since. There's the Nitron shocks, £500, no, £600 for them. Built to my weight, same as the cartridges. You send your weights off to Andrini and they spring them correctly. And I mean, if you want decent suspension, it has to be built for your weight. And like I say, it's just an amazing suspension setup now. Rear mudguard is the 651 that was cut off, and then I had that powder coated and lacquered. LED rear light, which is just a plug and play, and LED indicators, which if you want to fit on the 650, because you've only got one indicator warning light, you have to put a diode into the loom. You can see here where the loom has been retaped. Again, my mate Rob came over. I think the diode kit was like 15 quid, but I don't know anything about bike electronics. It's a dark art to me, so that was fitted. Mini sound bomb horn, brilliant. And the classic W bevel drive cover, WeBike in Japan. Probably about 130 quid time I paid the fees to customs. And Daytona cozy seat, again WeBike in Japan, a lot more expensive, probably about $350 time I paid customs their slice of the pie. Pillion handles, also powder coated black. Handlebars, powder coated black. Oberon mirrors, buy British if you can, and these are fantastic mirrors, no vibrations at any speeds, and they're well past your shoulders and elbows, so all you can see is the road behind you. So I've been very happy with this bike, and like I said, I will never ever part with it. When I'm too old to ride anymore, I'll just get it into the house and I can sit there with a cup of tea and just stare at it, which is basically what I do in the garage anyways. So if you're looking at buying one of these, you can still pick them up for £3,500 for a low mileage, well cared for example. And I don't care what anyone says, that is a bargain. If you're thinking about the 650 or the 800, I would personally say go for the 650. You've got carburetors and you've got kickstart. I had an 800 for a year, a 2011 one, and the fuel injection just took too much character out of the bike. It even had a motard on the 800 and it just wasn't the same, it wasn't as good. So, and you can pick up the 650 for £1,000 less, and in my opinion it's the better bike. So there you go. I don't know what else to say. It's a brilliant bike, and if you're parked up like this and somewhere where there's anybody, you know, people walking around, be prepared to chat to blokes in their 50s and 60s. Because they will come up and say, oh, look at that, I used to have one of them, bloody hell, it's a Kawasaki, I thought that was a Triumph or a BSA. So, yeah, I don't mind that. I can talk about my bike all day. So there you go. I think I'll wrap it up there. I'll splice in, you know, some more footage of just riding around so you can hear the motard. But yeah, and they're quite an exclusive bike, you know. I think in the 6 years I've had this, I've seen 2 other ones in Cornwall. And it's like meeting a long lost brother or sister. When you find one, you know, it's like, oh bloody hell, it's got W650. So there you go. I hope that was some use to people. And those of you who are thinking about upgrading the suspension, just go with the best you can afford. I started off with Hagen's and they were okay, they were better than the stock. But if you really want the bike to handle to the best of its ability, then spend the money. What did I spend? 1,200 quid in total on this suspension? You know, nearly half of what I paid for the bike. Do I regret it? No, not for a second. It's absolutely amazing now. I don't think there's anything, well, apart from the big brake kit, which I've missed out on recently, but apparently Rick's going to be building some more. So that would be great, because now obviously I'm riding a lot faster because the bike handles better. It would be nice to have slightly better brakes. Only slightly, but just 2-finger braking. So I'm looking forward to hopefully getting some big brakes whenever they are ready. So My name's Angoth. This has been Ruby, my 2005 W650, and I hope you've enjoyed that. And this has been Cornwall. So have a great day, ride safe, and I'll catch you all later. Thanks. So these are the sort of roads that the W absolutely loves. Country lanes, just bimbling around, motard popping on the overrun. If you've got any questions about the W650, then just drop me a comment below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. And for those of you who have watched any of my previous videos, thank you for sticking around. I do a video about every 3 years, and I keep saying, oh, I'll do some more videos, and I never do. So hello Tadpole, because I'm sure you're still here. So that about wraps it up. Hope some of you found that interesting. It's a great bike, just get one. If you're thinking about it, just get one. So this has been Angoth. We're live in Trisquillard. We've got a postal van. So it's cheers and gone. Go on then, one more time through the tunnel.